Green Acres is the place to be. Fun living is the life for me. Land spread now so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd rather stay. I get allergic smelling hay. I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores.
That's yours.
Fresh air.
Times Square.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, city life.
Green Acres, we are there.
You have just unlocked the door to the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound and of sight. You are moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of offense and defense. You have just crossed over into the Irish Bill Sports Zone.
Irish Bill Sports broadcast of Navarre Raider football. Here's your host and the voice of Raider Nation, Irish Bill. And here come the Raiders.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. This is Irish Bill with Marty. No, that's not Marty. That is Bob. Welcome back, Seminole Bob.
Hey, how are you?
Bob, you were replaced by Marty Wilson. He did a great job last night.
He did.
Everybody that we put in the seat does a great job. It's great that we have people that want to come support us on our broadcast and talk about the Navarre community.
Most certainly.
We got a game tomorrow. I know it's Wednesday night. Yeah, we got a game tomorrow. It's Thursday night game in Panama City. The last two times that we played, Mosley has been on a Thursday night. Hopefully we'll have the same results as we did 2 years ago.
Yep.
38-35 on a last-second field goal by Taylor Gardner. And what a game that was. Brady did that game with me.
Yep.
In fact, that's the only game that Brady's done with me. And but we'll be back there tomorrow evening. Weather permitting. Right now it's looking about a 30 to 40% chance, but we're going to be prepared this time. I got a new awning in yesterday.
Yes.
We're going to take that. It actually has sides on it too.
Ooh.
So it will keep the moisture away from my equipment. And we're going to have a great show tonight. Coach Bagley is going to be joining us again. We got Andre Spence and Josh Wilson.
Yep.
Two running backs that actually play both ways. Josh plays safety, and Andre plays linebacker. But he'll be doing most of the field play on offense now that he is the number one running back.
Thunder and lightning?
I like that.
Thunder and lightning.
Kind of reminds me of Peyton Hillis and Darren McFadden, the old Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yep.
They had another one in there, too. I'm trying to remember his name. But what a backfield that was at Arkansas back in the I think it was back in the 90s, wasn't it?
Yep.
But we got a great show tonight with, like I said, Coach Bagley, Andre Spence, Joshua Wilson. Not the Joshua Wilson that runs FloridaHighSchoolFootball.com, but Navarre's own Joshua Wilson.
Our Josh Wilson lives in Navarre. The other Josh Wilson lives in Hogtown.
Gainesville.
Yep.
You got that right. And he just got engaged.
He what?
He just got engaged.
Did he really?
He did. So congratulations go out to Joshua Wilson of Gainesville. No, not this Joshua. He didn't get engaged.
No.
He's got college and football ahead of him.
We want him to be engaged with some Dolphins tomorrow night.
Yeah, and we want to no, I'm not going to say that word. But anyways, so we're going to have the interviews here in a little bit. So let's go ahead and get our picks out of the way right now.
Picks.
Okay, we're going to go with our high school picks like last week.
Yep.
Of course, Joe won again.
Well, not again. That was his first win of the season.
No, last
wasn't
week
it?
he went 29. The week before he went 29-5.
Did he really?
Yeah. Last week he went 19-6. You and I went 18-7, so we were only a game behind him. Paul pulled up the trailer at 15-10 on the season. Joe has a 5-game lead over you.
Oof.
6-game lead over Paul.
Oof.
And 8. He has a snowman lead on me.
Snowman. Only golfers know that. That's a good.
Yeah.
I like that.
And but here's our games this week. Fort Wall Beach, a Thursday night game. They're joining us on Thursday night, but they'll be in Pensacola taking on Washington. All of us are going with the Vikings on the road.
Yep.
We're split down the middle on Navarre at Mosley. Yes, I know.
We don't have to say who picked it.
No,
Just
we don't.
say-
No, we
yeah.
don't. Okay, let's move on to our
But
next.
I did pick Navarre.
Gulf Breeze at Pace. Pace back on the road after their week off as well. All of us are going with the Patriots at home. Choctaw Pine Forest should be a great game tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Lon, I always forget his last name out there at Pine Forest. What the name the stadium? Lawn Wise. That's
Lawn
right.
Wise Stadium.
Hey, I knew I'd get it eventually.
Lawn Wise.
So Choctaw and Pine Forest tomorrow night, or Friday night. If I got nothing going on and the weather's good, I might head out because Brady's invited me out to that game.
Is the advantage with Choctaw because of the wet conditions?
And they should be getting their quarterback here because they had conditions last week were not favorable for football. The young man that filled in against us a couple weeks ago, he went 0 for 8 passing, but he did rush for 110 yards last week to go with Keller's 140. So they did a great job on the ground. Choctaw Pine Forest, we're all going with the Indians on the road. Niceville at Crestview. 2 slugfest last year. I don't see it this year.
You were at that game last year, or at least one of them.
At the one during the regular season, game that Crestview let Niceville drive the length of the field late in the game to pull that one out. And then Crestview got them back in the playoffs and knocked Niceville out of the playoffs last year. We're all going with the Eagles on the road. Milton at Tate, all going with the Aggies at home. Bay at Escambia, going with the Gators at home. Catholic, the battle of the
make a left and a right turn.
Catholic at Montgomery Catholic.
Right.
A battle of 2 undefeated teams.
Right.
The Crusaders 2-0, Montgomery Catholic 3-0. We're split down the middle on this one. You and I are taking the local Catholics. And Paul and Joe are taking the out-of-town Catholics. So
Yeah, what's a little concerning is the first 2 games for Catholic, they're not getting much offensive production from Nettles as far as the running game. Navarre limited them to
I think it was like 70 or 80 yards.
Yeah.
But they did throw the ball quite well on us that night.
They did. Good teams find a way to win, Bill. That's just the way it is.
Then there's Notre Dame. We'll move on from that. Pensacola at Destin. The young man is really running the ball well. We saw him in the preseason kickoff.
Yep.
He's in line he's competing for one of my Player of the Week's positions this week. West Florida at Walton. We're all going with the Tigers for their second win at Destin. West Florida at Walton. Walton really starting to sling the ball all over the field. West Florida struggling on offense. We're going with Walton at home. South Walton at Arnold. Joe goes with the Seahawks in the upset. Arnold is going to be taken by Bob, Paul, and myself. The reason that this Arnold team is different, Arnold hired Bozeman's head coach after last year, and a lot of those players after the 12-1 season for Bozeman, they went to Arnold. That's why they're scoring points this year.
Probably so. South Walton, if they would lose this game, Bill, are 0-3.
Yes.
Yeah. So the alarms may be sounding for Coach Phil Tiza.
Hey, I would not like to see that. I love me some Coach Tiza.
Oh, absolutely. And they're in a district they could possibly win. We'll see. That's why they play.
Going over to Tallahassee, a Big Bend region. Childs at Rickards. You're taking Childs.
That was tough.
The rest of us are going with records. South Broward at Florida High. Florida High got their first win against a very good Hawthorne team.
Yep.
We're all going with the Seminoles at home. Gaston County at Coffee, Georgia.
Right.
Coffee, Georgia, the 5A state champions last year in the state of Georgia. And Bob takes Gaston County, who's playing quite well right now. They are the cream of the crop over in the Tallahassee region right now. Them and Lincoln. Paul, Joe, and I are taking Coffee. You're going with Gadsden County.
Coffee, tea, or me?
They're out of Douglas, Georgia.
Yep.
Our good friend, Coach Bo Johnson, is an assistant coach at Coffee. Mm-hmm. He used to be the head coach at Bluntstown. Sewanee at Godby. We're split down here, down the middle. Bob and Joe are taking Sewanee. Paul and I are taking Godby at home.
That's another tough one because, immediately you want to give the advantage to Godby, Bill, for being at home. But I went with Peanut's favorite team. Other than Navarre.
North Florida, Taylor County. Usually this game is flip-flopped. Usually it's North Florida is the team to beat. This year it's Taylor County. They're 3-0. We're all going with Taylor County at home. Mariana at Bozeman. Mariana's flying high, 3-0.
They are.
We're all going with the Mariana. I'm thinking they're the
Bulldogs.
Bulldogs, that's right. A lot of Bulldogs around here.
They are.
Holmes County at Rutherford. We're all going with Holmes County to bounce back after their big loss last week to Walton. We're all going with Holmes County. Baker at Jay in the war on I-4. Both teams 3-0. Bob's going with the road
boys.
team with the Baker boys, and the rest of us are going with the J Royals at home. St. John Paul II at IMG Academy White team. That's their third team. It's not the national team. It's not the blue team. It's the white team, and we're all going with IMG Academy no matter which team it was. Central at Northview. Central taking their lumps here in their first season. We're all going with the Chiefs at home. Vernon at Chipley. Chipley playing solid defense. 3-0 on this year. We're all going with the Tigers at home in the Battle of Washington County.
Yep.
Freeport at Cottondale. Bob going with the Freeport Bulldogs. The rest of us going with Cottondale, who's 3-0 on the season.
I just like the way Freeport played last week. Getting good quarterback play, pretty good defense. I mean, we'll see. It's tough to go on the road to Cottondale, but
and you never have heard me say this before. Liberty County at 3-0 Franklin County. 3-0 Franklin County.
Yeah.
Well, people say, where's Franklin County? It's over in East Point. It's on the kind of the turn going from
the elbow.
Yeah, sort of like maybe the armpit.
The armpit.
They used to be Carabel High.
Carabel, yep.
A few years ago, they switched to Franklin County. We're all going with Franklin, the Seahawks.
Yep.
The second set of Seahawks in the area. The other one being South
Walton, the team that's undefeated, Seahawks.
Yeah. Sneeds going against FAMU, going to Tallahassee. We're all going with Sneeds on the road. There's our high school picks. We're going to go over and do our college picks real quick, and then we'll finish up our first segment. Then we'll bring in Coach Bagley for our first interview of the night. Then we'll have Andre Spence and Joshua Wilson.
Awesome.
College picks last week. Joe and I led the way with 19-7. You were getting back at 18-8. Paul at 17-9. Starting to see a trend with Paul. He's kind of slowly fading. Mr. Clean was not Mr. Clean last week.
He's fading down the backstretch.
Overall, I got a 2-game lead over you and Joe on the season, and Paul is 4 games back. So we're still pretty close after the first couple of weeks. Here's our games this week. 2 Friday night games, UNLV at Kansas and Arizona at Kansas State. We're all going with both Kansas teams in that one. Head over to Saturday, Memphis at Florida State, where the Seminoles will get their first win on the season.
I will be there.
Knock on for Micah.
Well, the line started at 5, then went down to 3. Actually, 5.5, down to 3. Now it's back up to 6.5. So Vegas is scratching their heads just like the rest of us.
There's fungus among us.
Fungus among us. Well, what do they say about, Florida made the quarterback change, and Coach Norvell has not. So we'll see how long he goes without pulling the fan favorite.
Next up, we
quarterback.
head back to the big house where Michigan hosts Arkansas State. We're all going with the Wolverines to get back on the winning track. LSU at South Carolina. Last week, South Carolina with a big victory. That is my upset special of the week. I am going with the Gamecocks at home over LSU. The rest of you guys are going with the not real Tigers.
Hey, Bill.
Coach O, guy, I have been missing you, Coach O.
Oh, I appreciate that. I've been staking out the Gamecocks of South Carolina. Isn't there Coach Steve Spurrier?
He left a long time ago, Coach.
Oh, Lou Holtz.
No, he left too.
Who was that coach that used to coach at Florida? Got fired.
No, he's not there either.
Oh, okay.
How about Shane Beamer?
Oh, Frank Beamer's son, huh?
That is correct.
Bill, I've missed you, man. Now, what in the heck? I wanted to say something else. What in the heck are you doing picking South Carolina? What? And have you lost your flipping mind? Come on, Bill.
Some people would think so, especially after last week of my Irish getting beat.
I laughed all the way to the bank on that one, Bill.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
Well,
no. How's yours? Are you still drinking all that Red Bull?
I'm cutting back. I'm doing Red Bull Light.
Red Bull Light?
Yeah. My brunette.
Is that Red Bull with the light on? Do you got to turn on the light?
Yeah, that too. LSU, on all seriousness, South Kakalaki is not an easy place to play.
It's not. And how's your blondie doing?
How's my what?
Your blondie.
I moved on to redhead, Bill.
Okay.
Come on, you got to keep. I got a scorecard here.
It's football season. Coach, I don't have time for anything else other than getting ready for shows and talking football.
That's not what your wife said. Anyway, all I can say is
takes one to know one, I guess, Coach.
Oh, hey, LSU is favored by 10.
I'm still going with the Gamecocks in the upset.
Well,
that's my upset special for the week. Actually, I got one more.
All of these contests are noon kickoffs. You know that. They're early, the early risers.
Actually, we got 11 o'clock Bama at Wisconsin. The Badgers hosting.
And
I'm trying to remember the last time Bama went and played a Big Ten school during the regular season.
True that. Well, Bill, all I can say is thanks for having me on the show. And
hey, Coach, don't be such a stranger. I mean, here we are in week 3 of the college season and week 4 of the high school, and this is the first visit we've gotten from you.
I've been a little busy with that redhead.
Okay, I can understand that. Well, let's get back to some Coach, and thank you, Coach, for stopping by.
Go Tigers.
And don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Okay, now we're going to move back to some picks. Oklahoma State at Tulsa, all of us going with the Cowboys at home after they fought back last week for a nice overtime victory over, I think it was with Arkansas last week. And then we got Bama heading to the cheese curd land up at Camp Randall. And should be a great game. 11 o'clock kickoff there. We're all, I'm going to say this very quietly, we're all going with Bama. I can't say that very loud. You know why?
Because the producer's listening.
That's right. Then we're going to head over to Missouri, as I like to call it, Missouri. Boston College at Missouri. You know Paul's taking Boston College. The rest of us taking the Tigers. Texas A&M going to Florida. We all took the Gators in this one. Lagway doing one heck of a job at quarterback, the true freshman at Florida.
5-star.
Ball State at Miami of Florida. Should be not a close game for the Hurricanes.
Miami.
Oh, I shouldn't have said Hurricanes, should I? There's one out in the Gulf of Mexico right now.
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
No, it landed.
It landed?
Miami's favored by 34.5. Bill, do you think they'll cover?
I think they will.
Okay.
West Virginia going to Pittsburgh. We're split.
That's the backyard brawl.
Joe and I took Pittsburgh, and Paul and you took West Virginia. Nevada at Minnesota. Paul going with the upset here with Nevada. And Minnesota is picked by myself, you, and Joe. Tulane at Oklahoma. You going with the upset here with Tulane.
I am. I saw the way they played. Oklahoma's favored by 14.5.
So you're riding the wave, huh?
I'm riding the wave. 3:30 kick on ESPN.
Okay. Oregon at Oregon State. That's what we're going to call it. The
Civil War. Civil War. And by the way, they're playing for the Platypus Cup.
Wow. That's messy.
Where else would you be able to find this?
Only in Oregon.
Yeah, there you go.
We're all going with the Ducks in that one. Quack, quack. Then we have Washington State at Washington in the Apple Cup.
Yep.
All going with the Wildcats there. Washington. Notre Dame at Purdue. You know what? I really had a hard time picking Notre Dame this week because they let me down so bad last week.
Yeah, they let a lot of folks down. They're favored by 10.5. This is a 2:30 kick on C.
In West Lafayette.
Yes.
We're all going with the Irish there to bounce back. Iowa to bounce back against Troy. Troy heading up to Ames, Iowa for that one. Or is it Culver City?
It's
Ames
Iowa.
is Iowa State.
Yeah, Iowa.
You should know that because you have family up there.
Iowa shouldn't have lost that game to Iowa State. That was a bad loss.
Utah at Utah State in the battle. Do they have a name for this one? Or just a bad football game?
I have something I can't say on the air. Utah's favored by 22.
Okay, we're going with the Utes on that one. Ole Miss at Wake Forest. This one's not even going to be close. In fact, by the time they get off the bus, the game will be over. Ole Miss in that one. UTSA at Texas. Longhorns looking really strong. We're all going with the Longhorns on the road. Georgia at Kentucky. Kentucky got too much of that bluegrass last week, and Georgia's going to roll all over them this week.
Georgia favored by 24.
New Mexico at Auburn. Auburn loses the Cal last week at home. They will not lose to New Mexico this week. We're all taking the Tigers.
Now people say, well, wait a minute. Didn't they lose last year? No, that was New Mexico State they lost
That's
to.
correct. UCF at TCU. We're split here. You and I are taking UCF, the Fighting Knights, and Paul and Joe taking TCU at home.
The spread is just 1.5, so I like the way UCF's been playing lately.
Colorado at Colorado State. Three of us are taking Colorado, and Joe is taking Colorado State in the upset. Here we go.
They call it the Rocky Mountain Series?
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then here's my second upset of the week. I can't remember the last time Indiana won a road game against a major college team, but they are this week. And it's not Lee Corso's team anymore. It's Kurt Signetti, who transferred over from JMU. What a job he did with James Madison. He's now the head coach at Indiana. You and I are taking the Hoosiers on the road. Paul and Joe are taking UCLA. And our last game, Kent State at Tennessee. And we're all going with the Vols on Rocky Top.
I thought it was just Kent, and then it was Kent State. Now it's back to Kent State.
Kent? Is that Clark Kent?
Golden Flashes. No, aren't they the Golden Flashes or something like that? Yeah.
Yep. So there's our college picks. We're going to take our commercial break, and we're going to bring Coach Garrett Bagley as we come out of the break. You're watching the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show from Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. Seminole Bob joining me back tonight. This Irish Bill will also be on the road tomorrow night at Mosley's. You can catch all the action starting at 7 o'clock. Kickoff, 6:30 pregame from Panama City. We'll be there. Enjoy this commercial break as we'll be right back.
To everyone who loves Culver's, the feeling is mutual. I'm Nicole from Culver's of Cross Plains, Wisconsin. And when I'm serving you a Butterburger, I'm just as happy as you are. I almost get giddy when I hear the sizzle of our fresh beef on the grill. Seeing that smile that comes from a meal made just right, some call it magic, but I like to call it love at first bite. Stop in for a cook-to-order Butterburger and let us make Culver's your happy place.
From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Grubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you. University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. A buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
The Hustle isn't named after anyone. Not after a designer, definitely not after a mythological god. It's not about stripes or ranking or status. The Hustle is real. The Hustle is about you. So keep in mind when you're repping and rocking Hustle Hard USA streetwear, you can tell all the onlookers that this mark, this brand represents your hustle, your grind. You put in that time, that sweat, that pain. Now it's up to you to show them all what you got. Win or lose, the hustle is real. Go to www.hustlehardusa.com, and I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Garrett Bagley, the head coach of Navarre, joining me again. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
We had the off week last week, and hopefully that gave it time for your team to get a little bit healed up and come up with a good game plan going into tomorrow night.
Yeah, I feel good about the off week, the open week. I think it came at a good time for us. We had a couple injuries that we were able to give a little bit of extra time, and also I think it gave us an opportunity to kind of reevaluate the way that we've been going about things, and I think it gave us some extra time to make some adjustments. So it's I think it came at a good time for us.
Well, a lot of people say, well, what's up with Navarre? They're not scoring. You know what? You have 10 new starters on offense. I watched the Bears game on Sunday. The Bears, half their offense is new. Mm-hmm. They didn't score an offensive point. So it just doesn't happen at the high school level, college. It happens at all levels when you're making changes to one side of the ball or the other.
Yeah, it's to me it's specific to offensive too. There's more timing involved. Don't get me wrong, defense, those guys have to work together also. But you can put 11 good athletes on the field on defense, and they can get the job done. You can put 11 great athletes on the field on offense. They still have to learn the timing and how to work with each other, especially with the offensive line and all the way from quarterbacks to receivers. To me, it's more dynamic on offense. So, that takes time, and we're confident we're going to get it going.
Keegan Gilbert got hurt in the first game against Catholic. Will he be back yet?
He will, yes, sir. He's full go this week, so we're excited to get him back. He's a talented player, young guy, but I think he's going to be a big-time player for us.
Most definitely only a sophomore, but he's not built like a sophomore, and he doesn't run like a sophomore.
No, yeah.
He transfers over from Texas. Happy to have him in the backfield back there. You had a couple other players that were injured. Is Jakari still out this week?
Jakari's still going to be out. He had a surgery, but he's healing well. So we're going to find out more about him next week. So right now we're just giving him the time he needs to heal up properly, so he will not be with us tomorrow night.
Okay. We got Mosley tomorrow night. We'll be over there broadcasting that game. A team that you've beaten the last couple of years, but it's always a tough battle against the Dolphins.
Always. A lot of talent over there, well-coached team. It's going to be a dogfight, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Now, I was talking with a friend of mine that lives over there. His son is a senior over there, on a wide receiver over there, and he said this is one of the better Mosley Dolphin teams that he's seen since he's been over there. He's been over there about 5 years.
No, there's no doubt they're a high-quality team. They got a bunch of good athletes, like I said, well-coached, disciplined. We got a big order, but I think we're up to it. I just want our guys to go out and play hard, be physical, execute, because that's definitely something that we got to do better. So we're still, we're going to go play a high-quality opponent, but we're still going to try to focus on ourselves and execute our game plan.
This is your longest road trip of the season. How do you handle a road trip like this when you're going a good hour and a half to 2 hour drive?
With the hour and a half, I was going to say each one's a little bit, they're all different depending on times you play and such. This one even has the added difference of being on a Thursday when we're used to playing Friday. So there's a lot of variables in this game. We just break it down and look and see, take it situation by situation, I guess, see what we need to get done in that certain situation. Where we're at in this season, we went ahead and we had a full practice today, full gear. We feel like we were in a situation we got to get better, so we practiced pretty hard for the day before a game, but I think that's what our team needed. Other than that, we just look at how much time it takes for food to digest and all that good stuff. We have special team walkthroughs. Traditionally, we have practice on Thursday morning, so we're not going to do that tomorrow morning so the kids can get a little bit of extra rest. Got a big team breakfast, and then we're going to get them out of school a little bit earlier so we can have that walkthrough in the middle of the day instead of in the morning. So those are some of the adaptations, I guess, that we're implementing for this specific game. Yeah,
change on defense from last year, running the 3-4 defense. How do you think the 4-2 is coming along so far?
I think it's good. I think Coach Lawson and his staff have put together a really good, defensive package. There's a little bit of bear that we have the capability of running, so we got an option of being multiple up front with either even or an odd front. And so far, so good. The guys are, defense is kind of the same way. I mean, there's all kinds of different defenses. They all have different pros and cons. Basically, it gets down to the point of the guys executing those game plans. And we got a bunch of really good players on that side of the ball. So I think they're fitting into the package well. And that's important as a staff, is that we just don't always try to mold our players to what our idea of the defense or offense needs to be. If we're doing a good job, we should be molding our offensive defensive philosophy to the kids that we have, that are capable and what they're capable of running.
Most definitely. Well, you got Zeke Burgess that's out for a couple of weeks. I got banged up in the last game. Who you got coming in to fill in that corner slot there?
We got a young Jones. He's a freshman. So we've got young Jones. We got a couple hungry sophomores and juniors behind him. So we're going to let guys go out there and compete for that spot. It'll be a good opportunity for those guys to gain some experience and for us to find out, we know Zeke's a great player. So kind of another opportunity for some guys to step up and, take advantage of an opportunity.
Most definitely. And I'm excited to get back on the air because I love high school football. If they offer me a college or a pro job, I wouldn't go because I love Navarre is my community, and this is special. I've been a part of this area for 33 years. Only one that's been here longer is you, growing up in Milton. And you've been in the Navarre program this your 19th year, I believe, since 06. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Since 06, yes.
Coach Olson was turning the program around at that time, 06, 07. Navarre's first 2 years in the state playoffs. I think the '07 class was the first district title.
My first year of, I get them mixed up with it, school year or football year.
'06 was our
'06. If I remember correctly, we'd never had a winning season up to that point. I don't even think we won a district game to that point. And then that year was just a really special year. We won the district championship, and that's a memory I'll keep forever.
Yeah, you had a tough Austin Grimm at quarterback.
Yeah.
I remember
Scrappy.
Austin. Chris
Scrappy.
Weaver, the best route runner I think I have ever seen
Crisp
in my
would be
life.
the word I'd use for him. Crisp route running, yeah, awesome.
Yeah, he was all of 5'6", all area. The young man. And if that ball touched his hands, he didn't drop it.
Just scrappy guys that found a way to get it done. And to me, that's kind of what Navarre football has kind of always been about.
And on the defensive side of the ball, you had a young man named Joey Torres, who went on track and field at South Alabama.
Yes, sir.
What a great athlete he was. That team hit hard. Big game, both games against Pace. Unfortunately, two losses of Pace, but they haven't lost to Pace in 14 games. And hopefully we can keep that going this year. But we got some games in front of us before we get to that game. Looking at this week, like I said, off last week, the players, how was the locker rooms? A lot of teams could bow their heads and after 0-2 start, no points scored. How was the locker room handling all of it?
I think that's the benefit of having what I consider a good culture. It doesn't fluctuate very much. I think our guys, to be honest, we had 3 days of practice last week. I would consider 2 of those exceptional practices out of the 3. And then this week I think we've had probably our best week of practice. I know it sounds kind of crazy that, we talk to our guys. I feel like they're learning how to practice. And that seems kind of silly, but there's truth behind it. Our guys are learning how to practice with tempo and intensity and to be locked in on the sideline and how to contribute and just how to have a productive practice. And I think we've had these last 2 weeks have been really good. And I think, like I said, I think that goes back to the culture. Just coming to work every day, and that's what our guys do. We're proud of them for it.
Well, we wish you all the best, especially on a safe drive. Hopefully the weather cooperates tomorrow night. I always love playing a game without the weather, but so be it if it does. It was nasty last Friday night, and hopefully the weather will cooperate, and it's a great place to play over at Tommy Oliver Stadium.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful press box they have over there, beautiful field.
Fields, yeah, the field's beautiful.
Shared by Bay High School and a couple of the other schools in Panama City. Should be a great game tomorrow night. We wish you all the best tomorrow night, Coach.
Thanks
for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Garrett Bagley. Roman, you're with Mr. Bob.
What's that?
Go right into it.
Okay. I take it we are live, Bill Hamill. Is that correct? We are live here at Buffalo Wild Wings. This is Bob Grant. Joining me, quarterback of Navarre, Roman Marshall. Good to see you, young man.
Good to see you, too.
Let me get a little closer. I'm not trying to be fresh or anything. Off week. Probably came at a pretty good time.
Yes, sir. It did.
How was this week in practice?
It was a better week for sure. We focused on more energy, and then later in the week we focused on driving that energy to, like good energy and not just like scattered everywhere. So I think it was a good week.
I thought we played better, even though we lost to Choctaw. I thought we played better in the Choctaw game than we did against Catholic. Tell me about how the game went. You had a little extra spin, started Vinny at quarterback, a little something different. You started a 6-man line. Tell us about what it's like playing behind a 6-man line.
It's you feel really protected,
Yeah.
but it's a little less pass. So
Right.
you got to be, can't just get lazy, can't just get all that, but you got to keep running the ball, keep doing your fake. So I don't know, you just feel like, dude, got a lot of guys.
I know
in
you
front
got
of
to be happy about having Josh Wilson back. I've nicknamed him Thunder and Lightning. With
who's Thunder and who's Lightning?
yeah, the linebacker is Thunder, and Josh is, I think, is Lightning. Remind me of the linebacker's name.
Andre Spence.
Andre, yeah. Andre would be. He gets those. His yards against Choctaw are very tough, between the tackles mostly.
Very downhill runner.
You played with him 2 or 3 years. Tell me about the heart of that guy.
He loves football. Like I don't get how he goes so hard in practice every day. Like I've never seen him take a day off. He runs like he's mad. Like he's a great heart. Like
Bill calls it running angry. That's why he did it. Something a little different last against Choctaw. You ran the ball some.
Yes, sir.
How'd you feel?
I felt good running the ball. I felt good that coach was letting me run the ball. He was a little more confident in me, especially after the injury.
Right, yeah, the ankle. Those of you who didn't know, he tweaked an ankle. And when you told me you were like 90%, I'm going, I don't know about that. But you showed you were limping 2 weeks ago here at Buffalo Wild Wings. But during the game, you looked great.
Yes, sir. I had that taped up, everything. I couldn't even feel it until after. But, yeah, true runner at heart. I love running the ball. I need to get more downhill, as my coaches say. But
you like the run-pass option?
Yes, sir.
Do you
yes,
run
sir.
a lot? Do you all run the
we have
RPOs?
Yes, sir. We have a good package for that.
Use the jet sweep some too to keep the defense off balance a little bit as well. You threw the tight ends as well.
Love throwing them at tight
Big.
ends.
How much of they are they? I'm sure they are. They've always have been part of the offense.
They're a big part, big blockers. Like we rely on them a lot to seal the edge on run plays, to double to linebackers, always taking up good blocks in the passing game. I haven't seen a lot in games, but in practice, they get most of the targets.
Well, we only returned one starter on offense last year. But we can't forget, we went into the double tight end or triple tight end. We had players that had playing time last year that really are pretty much in sync with what is being presented as the offense.
Yes, sir.
So the week went great in practice. Ankle feels great. Tell us what you see on film with Mosley. As far as their defense.
As far as their defense, I see good safeties. They read it out a lot. Maybe not as fast as their corners.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking to see that. They run a lot of off coverage.
Yeah.
So I'm liking a lot of hitches, anything like. Our game plan is going to be taking advantage of that soft corner.
Right. Yeah, Choctaw was rolling up their linebackers and corners, daring you to run. And then you opened it up. You found the tight end, some plays, dink and dunk to the running backs, which is just as good as a long run in my mind. I thought we played better. And, more importantly, I thought you felt more comfortable in what Roman Marshall was supposed to do. Did you feel that too? Did you feel comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Choctaw.
I felt more comfortable. I felt more comfortable in the pocket and doing my job, and I don't know, just being the quarterback. just being a leader.
You looked comfortable, for whatever that means. But I to me, the eye test is, success. Can't take anything away from Choctaw's defense, but we finally solved the snap problem. You got a center in there that doesn't make you run for your life. But again, yeah, it was mercy rule, running clock, but I thought we played better. You're going to rely on Thunder and Lightning. You got Josh Wilson back. Josh is going to get some reps. I understand it at tailback.
Yes, sir.
How important is his leadership? He was just finishing his sandwich, and what was he doing? He was looking at film.
Yes, sir. We were looking at film, and he's just a student of the game. Like he knows everything that's going on in the field, and I love that. Great leader on our team. I feel like a lot of people on the sideline, a lot of people on the field look up to him because they, just like Andre, they go hard every play. He runs fast. He's nothing below 100. So,
but both of them do a great job. Two-way player. What do you see other than the soft corners in Mosley's defense? What's their front 4 or 5 look like? What are their linebackers?
They'll run. They usually ran a Bears, but now I think they're running a 4, and they have very eager linebackers. Mm-hmm. They're really eager to get on that run. So I think, big linebackers. One of their linebackers is really fast, but we're going to take advantage of that as much as we can. They don't play man a lot. So we're gonna play a lot of zone beaters.
I know you watched a lot of film. Mosley won last week, 35-7.
Yes, sir.
Something like that. Before that, they had been averaging 50 points a game against Bay and Rutherford. But that's why, as Coach Herm Edwards said, that's why you play the game. And I think we're going to come out and not shock people, but I think we're going to come out and do well.
I think so, too.
Tomorrow night. And just got to keep your head up and certainly do your best. A lot of people have got your back. And so you're the QB1 right now, and we hope that continues. Great young man. Roman Marshall, son of Doc Marshall, chiropractor in town. Lost your mom a few years ago. I'm glad you got her good looks, not Doc's. My guest, he's the cute one, the handsome one, Roman Marshall. Thanks for joining me. Good luck tomorrow night.
All right. Thank you.
Let's take a pause for the cause, and we'll be back with another guest. You're listening to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here on, Irish Bill Sports Network.
Great teams have great support. The Navarre Raiders have one of the best support organizations, the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club. All the members see to it that the Raiders have all available necessities to keep the Raiders on track. Well, they're seeing to it that they are properly fed, have good transportation, are making sure that all Raider fans can hear all the exciting Navarre Raider football action. The Navarre Raider Quarterback Club is there to make it happen. Thanks, Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, for your support of your winning Navarre Raiders on IrishBillSports.com.
To everyone making time for life's best moments, let our team member Sandy share how Culver's is serving up Celebration by the Scoop.
Our rich and creamy fresh frozen custard makes every day a little bit sweeter. Enjoying a handcrafted treat with all the ooey gooey toppings you love? Now that's worth celebrating.
Come to Culver's and let us serve you a sweet treat to make every moment count. From Wisconsin with love, welcome to Delicious.
All you need to change your life is a sign. Like an actual sign that's like above you. And no, I don't love B-dubs just because I'm a buffalo with wings. Frankly, that's offensive and reductionist. It's like they made beer into a place and gave that place sports and chicken wings. And the people, the best.
Marty! You're dead weight!
Yeah, this place is kind of like heaven. You know, without needing to get hit by a bus.
Let's go sports bar!
Navarre Fitness is where old school meets new. Whether you're into free weights or the latest and greatest weightlifting equipment, they will meet your needs. They have cardio machines as well if you want to get your sweat on. Whatever direction you decide to go, trainers Clay Horton, Brick Grubbs, Andrew Coase, and Stephanie Hunt will be there to assist you along the way. So what are you waiting for? Oh yeah, how do I join? Just go to navarrefitness.net and check out our rates or call us at 850-816-5434. You can even stop by our location at 8700B Navarre Parkway in Navarre. You can also visit our sister gym, Midway Fitness, at 5660 Gulf Breeze Parkway, Unit 1. Both facilities are open 24/7. We are the place to go to get you started on the road to a better you.
Welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wing Coaches Show. This is Irish Bill with the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. This is week number 3 for our show, I believe. 3? I've lost track. I've been doing this for way too long. With me, this segment is running back and linebacker Andre Spence. Which is it going to be this week? More running back or more linebacker?
It's going to be a 50-50 this week.
Okay. Because we do have Keegan Gilbert back in the backfield. It's nice to have that young man. That is a strapping young lad. He runs hard, and he's only a sophomore. And so which do you prefer? Do you like running the ball and running people over, or do you like tackling?
Well, I get this question asked a lot about that. I prefer both. Like, it's fun to play defense, get to hit people, and it's fun to play offense and score some touchdowns.
You've been on varsity. I believe your freshman year you were on varsity, so 4 years on varsity. I'm not going to ask which year is better because that's a wide open question. But having this last week off couldn't have come at a better time as you guys get ready for Mosley. What did you guys do in this last week to prepare for this tough Mosley team?
We prepare, like, working on ourselves this week coming off of 0-2, and we just gotta say we gotta work on ourselves a lot, and that's what we did for this off week. And I feel like when we going against Mosley, we feel more prepared for going against them.
And I this is your second time this year with us on the show. Were you here in week 1? Like I said, I lose track. 2 shows a week, football games. It's nice to have you back on. You got your partner over there, Josh Wilson. You both play both sides of the ball. You have since you were a freshman. Josh even played, I guess, I heard he even played a little quarterback his freshman year. So who knows what we're going to see tomorrow night. It's going to be surprised because I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag because we might have Mosley watching our show tonight. Going into this, what do you do on long road trips? And this is a game an hour and a half drive over to Panama City. Do you just sit back and relax, not think about the game, or is your total focus on the game?
I sit back and sleep and relax and get my mind right for the game because it's going to be a long road trip. So it's going to be a nice nap or on the ride.
Yeah. And so when you're listening to music, what's your favorite music to listen to? Who's your favorite artist?
It's a lot of Lil Baby. That makes me like more focused, dialed in the game.
So what makes you relax? What type of music makes you relax?
I don't have like a really song that makes me relax. I just feel like when it's like a little all quiet and like I just put my body to relax. That's what.
Okay. So we'll get to see you on both sides of the ball tomorrow night. And one little, this is just Irish Bill, the broadcaster. You run hard. There's a guy I'm going to compare you to that was at Navarre. He's now assistant coach up at Central. Johnny Robinson. You know Coach Robinson?
Oh, never heard of him.
No. He was on your coaching staff last year. His older brother was Eugene Robinson. His younger brother, Will. They all three played at Navarre. I call it running angry. Is that how you look at yourself when you're carrying the ball? Is you're running angry?
Sometimes. Not all the time.
So you're used to delivering the hit on the defensive side of the ball, so you want to continue to deliver the hit on the offensive side of the ball. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Andre Spence, starting running back and linebacker for the Navarre Raiders. We wish you all the luck tomorrow night, and let's get on the board and let's bring home a W. Andre Spence. Thanks, Andre.
We are live as opposed to dead, right, Bill? This is Bob Grant. We're back at Buffalo Wild Wings, the Coach Bagley Coaches Show. We're here with this stranger, this guy.
Yes,
yeah, you
sir.
remember him from the Catholic game. Josh Wilson. Good to have you, Josh.
Nice to have you, too.
Your dad's a celebrity, man. He was on last night
Yes,
taking
sir.
my place.
I was watching.
I do the stadium announcing at the school that I teach at, middle school in Walton County.
Yeah.
So your dad graciously filled in. Catholic game. Let's catch up with this young man. Played linebacker last year, right?
Yes,
Was
sir.
it Mike linebacker?
I was an outside linebacker.
Outside, yeah.
Yes, sir.
And that guy covers a lot of space, wasn't it? The wide side.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And Coach Walls leaves for Bainbridge. Coach Bagley comes in, puts in a 4-2-5 defense.
Oh, yeah.
Moves you to safety. How was the change?
I mean, back when I was a freshman, I used to play or strong safety. But we mostly ran man coverage. So I was always in the box with the F. But having to learn, play free safety, you get in the back, reading the backfield and all that, it was way better. And I feel like it gives us more leverage to kind of cover more. And the run game will still be good because our D-line, we have, senior Braxton, Easy, all of them.
Now, when you played into 3-4, what we had played for the last number of years,
yes, sir.
You would typically cover a back or a tight end, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you're sometimes with one-on-one coverage with some of the best receivers, in the game.
So.
But you roll up sometimes, blitz and all.
Oh yeah.
So, do you like the 4-2-5?
Oh yes, sir. I love it a lot because, we have 5 DBs, so passing on us is gonna be hard. 4-2-5. Obviously, we have Andre and Vinny at middle linebacker. Nothing's really gonna get past them. And I feel like our D line's really great. I love Easy there. Hey, Bryce Wheeler, been stepping up for us. So I just feel like Coach Lawson's been doing a great job putting in good packages for us, setting us up for success. So I feel confident.
So he was destroying a hamburger there during the break. And what was he doing? Well, he was talking. Yes, he was talking to Andre, but he was looking at game film, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about the game, Thursday night game. You're coming off a bye week. If it had been a normal week, it would have been a short week. It's not.
Yes, sir.
A little shorter. Tell us how practice went this week.
Practice has been really great this week. More energy, enthusiasm. We've been running our stuff, trying to get, more experience with it. And really, it's just been wonderful. All that rest we got is going to help, prepare our bodies for this game. And hoping we can, take a change like how we did last year. We started 0-2. We're 0-2 this year. It'll be great.
So, quarterback of Mosley. Seems like he's been there for 10 years.
Yeah.
Likes to throw the ball. They do have a running game. He can run too.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about what you've seen on game film.
Really?
About their offense.
I haven't seen the QB run as much as he did last year, but they run a lot of counter tray, just a lot of pullers. So reading that's going to have to, we're going to have to stay patient with it. They run a lot of trick plays too, so just being patient. We have aggressive DBs, but learning that this week, they prepared us really well, and really just stopping the run is going to be the key to the game.
I think he started as Freitas, I think is his last name. He started as, I believe, a sophomore. But, he can sling the ball. Tomorrow night, maybe not the best night for passing.
Oh, yes, sir.
Could be wet. Field conditions not perfect. To me, that plays right into Navarre's hand.
Oh, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I feel like downhill runs, just straight to it, it's going to be way easier for the night. And, that's our package, really.
Right.
So, me, Andre, we got Roman, he can run too. And, Keegan Gilbert, it's really going to be really great for us.
So, in the Catholic game, one of the only times we were in their end of the field, we punted the ball. You're on special teams. The
returner,
receiver or up man catching a punt muffs it. Right. You go in and recover. That's when you got hit. And suffered a mild concussion, I understand.
Yes, sir.
What was it like being out and not being able to play against Choctaw?
Honestly, I was trying to get clear for that game.
Right, yeah.
My head wasn't really hurting at all. So, I was talking to trainer Bree, trying to get back in there, but I really couldn't. So, just trying to help the team. Be there on the sideline. Lead them, tell them what's been working, what's been not working. Just practically being an extra coach for them was very helpful. And me just seeing it, it's prepared me. Like, it's helped me a lot. Because, seeing it, at running back is different than seeing it at a different perspective. So, it's got me, more prepared for this week, honestly.
He's a tough hombre. Last week, Choctaw, their quarterback, went 0 for 8 throwing the ball. Their running back, I think, ran for
180.
Maybe 200 yards.
Yeah, something like that.
But the quarterback, who is the backup because the starter broke his collarbone, he ran. He ran for 135 himself last week. It just had to be frustrating wanting to play, and for the long term, it was best, as you know, to sit out.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make the want any less, though.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Carter. One half of thunder and lightning in the backfield. I know Roman is excited about having options.
Yes, sir.
There'd be some run packages for you this week?
Oh, yeah.
On offense?
Definitely.
Yeah.
We have, we have a lot of different options now since we have Big Cat, Wildcat, Black Pearl, and, Roman he can throw anytime. But I feel like having different looks is going to be the key to victory, really.
Certainly keeps them guessing. Oh, yeah. Now, when you run the Black Pearl, which is Navarre's version of the Wildcat, is it you? Is it Andre?
Really? It can be any of us, but mostly Andre. We're going to have Andre there. I'm going to be blocking. Roman can be in there. Really anyone. We got anyone that can really run it for us.
I don't know the answer to this question, but I'm going to take a stab at it. You're the fastest guy on the team, aren't you? No?
I say I'm top 2, maybe.
Top 2, yeah.
There's this one kid named Ray. He's
early on against Catholic, you hit
yeah.
some holes
Yes, sir.
on offense, and I went, whoa, where did that come from?
Yes, sir.
And I knew you were always quick. You wouldn't have played that linebacker position last year if you weren't, and Coach Walls wouldn't think you'd be able to cover that side. But, he's being humble. My guest has been
Never.
Josh Wilson. I may have called you Josh Carter. I'm sorry if I did.
Oh, no, it's good.
Josh Wilson, starting free safety, running back. Heck, he may work the concession stand for all I know. He's the Navarre's answer. He's like the Swiss Army knife. Whatever we need him, he'll do it. What was he doing? Talking to his friends while he was eating? No, he was studying game film.
Oh, yeah.
He's a player. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
You're listening to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. That was Josh Wilson, free safety, running back. You name it, he can do it. He's the lightning of the combination that I call thunder and lightning. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, the handsome one, Bill Hamill, will join me. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here on IrishBillSports.com.
University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. A buying, building, or refinancing a dream home is in your future. You need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes, Stacy Wright, and Sheila Billingham are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or refinancing experiences smooth. So University Lending at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call us at 850-396-0322.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
The hustle isn't named after anyone, not after a designer, definitely not after a mythological god. It's not about stripes or ranking or status. The hustle is real. The hustle is about you. So keep in mind when you're repping and rocking Hustle Hard USA streetwear, you can tell all the onlookers that this mark, this brand represents your hustle, your grind. You put in that time, that sweat, that pain. Now it's up to you to show them all what you got. Win or lose, the hustle is real. Go to www.hustlehardusa.com, and I can guarantee you, you will not be disappointed.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Navarre. We've had great interviews tonight with Coach Bagley, Roman Marshall. You got to talk to him and Joshua Wilson, as well as I got to speak with Andre Spence. We get to see sophomore running back Keegan Gilbert back in the lineup tomorrow night.
I see that.
And so that will allow Andre to split 50-50 on both sides of the ball tomorrow night. And his replacement, Rowan Strom, has done a great job filling in for him.
You know, I wanted to say that when I was interviewing Josh. But yeah, absolutely. He led the team with tackles.
10 solo tackles in the last game. Just a couple ahead of Vinny. Vinny went for 8 solo tackles in that game. Vinny, the overall leading tackler for Navarre, 18 tackles after 2 games, all solo tackles out of his linebacker position. Well, now you know what time it is. We talked a little bit about this last night. but it's time for our Irish Bills Panhandle Power Rankings and our Players of the Week. So you know what's coming next. Can I have a drum roll, please?
I like that.
Irish Bills Panhandle, the large schools, Niceville, Choctaw, Mosley, Tate, Escambia, Arnold, and Pace. Arnold moves in for the first time. Our smaller schools, Catholic, Mariana, Chipley, Baker, Jay, Bluntstown, and Walton, with their first victory, sneaks into the top 7. We got to do that one more time for the players. And now for your offensive player of the week from Pensacola High, running back A.G. Floyd had 24 carries for 239 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the Tigers' 27-22 loss to Tate last Friday night. Our defensive player from Tate, linebacker Braden Walker, 15 tackles, a tackle for loss, and a sack in the Aggies' 27-22 win over Pensacola. And for the second consecutive week, Niceville place kicker Logan Karwacki takes the honors as he went 4 for 4 on extra points, 2 for 2 on field goals from 33 and 36, and a 36-14 win over Pine Forest. Your players of the week and your power rankings, courtesy of Irish Bill. And those are your players of the week.
Good picks.
I like that. I like doing that drum roll. It just sounds good. But anyways, you got Walton creeps in. I mean, they had a tough game in their first game, the loss to Mariana. Mm-hmm. They handled an undefeated Holmes County team last week rather handily, and I thought that they deserved a chance to sneak into the top 7.
Yep.
That 50-14 win over Holmes County. Catholic heads up to Montgomery. Mariana beat a McClay team that got off to a nice start, 2-0. Chipley's 3-0, Baker 3-0, Jay 3-0. That sets up a great matchup on Friday night in the war on I-4.
The war on I-4. It's fitting that we have a lot of matchups in college football. We have Oregon State, West Virginia Pitt, LSU South Carolina. What else? Georgia, Kentucky.
Washington State, Washington.
Colorado State.
Utah State.
Yep.
Shouldn't be much of a game there, though.
But we have the war on I-4.
War on I-4. You say, why did they call it the war on I-4? Well,
why do they call
State Road 4 runs between Baker and Jay. So years ago, they came up with the name and said, war on I-4. It connects the two schools, Jay and Baker. Both teams 3-0 on the season. Coach Brunson doing his usual Coach Brunson stuff at Baker back in his first year there at the helm. And but Jay, what a team they have put together this year. Not too many close games going into this one, but that should be a great matchup. I'm looking at some you got the Battle of Washington County this weekend too, with Vernon and Chipley. Vernon gets their first win last week, 30-0 whitewash of Weewaw last week, and Niceville and Crestview, 2 solid games last year. A low-scoring game in the first one saw Niceville pull that one out, but in the playoffs, Crestview knocked Niceville out. Okaloosa County, some great matchups there. A couple of Thursday night games. And we'll get you started tomorrow night at Tommy Oliver Stadium in Panama City, Florida tomorrow night at 7 o'clock kickoff, 6:30 with the pregame. And hopefully Mother Nature will be kind to us tomorrow night, Bob.
Hope so. You know what they call 2 schools in Escambia, Alabama County? Bruton, Powerhouse, right? T.R. Miller?
Yep, T.R. Miller
and W.S. Neal.
Correct.
Right. Well, they call that the Battle of Murder Creek or something like that.
Do you know the history? You know the history of?
Well, I lived in Escambia, Alabama County.
So you know the history of. You get a chance, go out and do a Google search on Murder Creek and why it is called Murder Creek. When we were doing a lot of traveling to Brady's games in college, we had a lot of time to ourselves to do some history research. So that was one of the things that we conversed about on the Battle of Murder Creek. It's in Bruton. It runs right through the middle of Bruton, the river. And
called Murder Creek.
Murder Creek.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
there's just some great stories in the history of in southern Alabama with their football. You got Valdosta in Georgia. Great story there. All-time winningest high school program is in Valdosta, Georgia. If you go to these smaller towns, I've been to Vernon for a couple of games, Friday. Great environment. Yes, they do play football in those small towns, and those guys try just as hard as the bigger schools do. And
the whole town comes out.
And you run into towns like you go up near Mariana. There's this little town called Two Egg. You ever been to Two Egg?
I've been past
well,
if
you blink, you're going to miss it.
Yep.
But Two Eggs up north of Mariana. I've been up there a couple of times when we were covering Chipola junior college basketball. It's up in that area. But just the small town rivalries. One developing in the middle is one developed between Hawthorne and Madison County right now. Two of the powerhouses in rural football.
Speaking of Escambia, Alabama County, let's not forget Flomaton. They won the state title a couple years back.
Most definitely. And so if you get a chance, weather permitting this Friday night, and you don't follow any team in particular, get in your car, set your Google Maps to one of the small towns that's hosting the game this Friday night. Take in a rural county football game. I tell you, it's fun. The atmosphere is great. Find that one little restaurant in that town that serves the best burgers or best whatever. That's what I did at Vernon. My first trip to Vernon, I had no idea where Vernon was at. Got on I-10 after working at Duke. I didn't know which exit to take, to be honestly. Luckily, I had Google Maps. But I believe it's exit 94 into Caryville. You take a right off of I-10 and go down about 11 miles. And Vernon's off 11 miles from the I-10 interstate. Find that restaurant. I did. Had a great time. Enjoyed the game. The young man that was running back, I'm trying to remember his name, but he's now a running back at South Florida. And he played at Vernon High.
Tony? Maybe not. Yes, a lot of good small town football. The Baker and Jay game, don't think there'll be a seat available at Royal Stadium.
No, it's going to be a packed house, and luckily we get to call the Navarre at Mosley game. This series has been quite tight. There's been a few blowouts here and there, but the last couple of years it's been pretty close football between these two programs. Coach Tommy Joe Whidden, the head coach over at Mosley, Garrett Bagley in his first year here at Navarre. But he's been a coach at Navarre since 2006, where he got his start under Larry Olson back in 2000. So he's been here 19 years. No stranger to Navarre Raider football.
Crazy good. Crazy good. Is Freitas finally a senior at quarterback?
He is.
Thank you, Roman.
Thanks, Roman.
What a nice kid.
But Sammy Freitas finally a senior at Mosley. Seems like we've seen him for like the last 5 years. And they got a defensive end, Raiden Bruins, that is going to be playing Division I football. He was 6'6" as a freshman. He's still 6'6", and that's a tall, strapping young lad. But we'll see a lot of him tomorrow night. A very athletic Mosley Dolphin team. I talked with my good friend Dennis Lusek, who I worked with in the 6SOS for years. His son is a senior wide receiver over there, and he says in the 5 years that he's been there, this is the best Mosley team that he has seen on the field.
Tommy Joe Whidden can do it. He was a standout quarterback at Niceville.
Assistant coach at Niceville for a while before he got his head coaching job at Washington.
Right, turned that program around.
For a couple of years, and then took the head coaching job over at Mosley. And should be a great matchup tomorrow night. You know what? Since you weren't here last night, you got a rant for me tonight? Or didn't you come prepared?
No, not really. the same rant I had a month ago. It's coming up on 30 days. 30 days. Politicians, some of you have lost, and I'm sorry about that. Go get your signs out of the way. I don't want to call anybody out, but if it goes another week, I might have to.
And that's usually for our Tuesday night show at Culver's. Bob ends our Tuesday night shows, Irish Bill's Twist on Sports, with a little bit of a rant. Could be about high school football, could be about college football, especially since your team's been stinking it up this year so far, 0-2. But I think they're going to get their first win this weekend against Memphis.
Memphis, a former team of Mike Norvell.
Came from Memphis. What a great job he did with that program over there.
Yeah, I mean, people, Florida State starts losing, and they go, oh, well, the portal is not working. Hello.
McFly.
Hello. Travis.
Jordan Travis.
I
always get that name mixed up.
He's a transfer.
You got two first names.
That's right. Like Bob Grant. Jordan Travis was a transfer from Louisville. People forget about that.
And what a job he did in the 3 years he was there.
Oh, man. Wish we could have him back.
Most definitely.
But, give me a wrench.
Is he gonna stay with DJ this week?
I don't know. Give me a wrench. Give me a hammer.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning.
Get our backup off the bench.
I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. That's all you're gonna get out of me singing wise. I'm sorry if I scared people away with my singing. My wife, the producer, always tells me, don't sing.
But what I like out of Mike Norvell said, a lot of people are throwing shade at us. He said, it's part of the gig, baby. You don't play well, people are going to, hey, don't forget, one of the first 2 years that Bobby Bowden was at Florida State, they hung him in effigy.
But they played any oncomers, though, when he first started there. Anybody that would play him, he would play. And
get off his back. Support your team. If you're a Seminole fan, support the Noles, win or lose. As Bill said the next morning after Notre Dame's loss, guess what? The sun came up tomorrow, right?
The next day.
The sun will come up tomorrow. Bet your bottom
But anyways,
dollar.
Everybody wanted to put Coach Freeman in the rafters after they went down to Texas A&M, and they wanted to exalt him. Our highs are only for a short time. And next week they found out when they didn't come ready to play against a mid-major team, Northern Illinois. Head coach out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, up in my parts, and he went in with a game plan, and they didn't expect to lose. They played like we're the same level as Notre Dame, and they came ready to play, and Notre Dame did not.
Well, I may have jinxed Notre Dame. I haven't told you this story yet.
You can share it with me now.
Guess what movie I watched Saturday morning?
You didn't watch Rudy, did you?
I did. It was free.
Wow.
Rudy.
I heard a rumor earlier this week that there's a sequel coming out that Rudy's wearing an NIU jacket.
Hey, listen. Alabama has lost their games. Michigan lost to App State.
Alabama lost to Louisiana Monroe
That's right.
in Nick Saban's first year.
That's right. So, on any given night, stuff can
You
happen.
bring that up about college. You look over our list here. Do you see what's your upset of the week?
Oh, I picked Florida. Some would think that would be an upset. The game is at Ben Hill Griffith. I don't think Kentucky stands a chance against Georgia.
Not at all.
I'm beginning to wonder about the mystique at Colorado.
I think the luster is finally starting to wear off a little bit.
You know, Bill, and this is not, you know, I adore your family immensely. I really had a hard time picking that Alabama game. The spread's 8.5, not what Alabama is really used to. It's at Camp Randall. I could see Wisconsin just has not been consistent over the past few years. I can see Wisconsin pulling an upset, or
you could see a blowout.
Well,
maybe not a
no,
blowout.
I was going to say Wisconsin plays an average game, and Alabama shoots themselves in the foot.
Alabama struggled in the first 3 quarters against South Florida last week for the second straight year.
You know, you saw Saban. You know, they named a field in honor of him and his wife. He was shaking his head, wasn't he?
How much do you think that he's enjoying being an analyst? Do you think he misses being on the field?
Oh, I think so. I think any coach would. It'd be like all of a sudden you decided not to do
bite your lip.
Broadcasting. You know, of course you'd miss it. I missed it all those years in between when Fort Walton went a different way with Mark Stevens and I. So, but, you know, there's always a reason, and my reason was getting married, having a family, and guess what filled Friday nights? It wasn't high school football, but that was okay, spending time, you know, with the family. So go out and support your local teams this week, folks. We'll be out at Tommy Oliver Stadium.
And whether your team's having a good year or a down year, they still need your support either way. You never know when they're going to rise up to the occasion.
It's okay.
And not just talking about Navarre, other teams out there. I mean, with my picks, you know, I'm usually pretty solid with my high school picks. I've lost a lot of games so far, and I'm bringing up the rear. And I told Joe last week, I was like, you know what? I might just throw in the towel. He goes, Bill, you know you're not throwing in the towel.
Well, you've got teams that are traditionally not good.
Like Franklin County.
Franklin County.
3-0. Arnold.
Pensacola High.
Scored 40 points their last 2 games. They only scored 12 points all of last year.
They may not have scored 40 points in 3 years.
Pensacola High, 7 points last year. They've turned it around. What a great job that they're doing. Coach McKinney out there at Pensacola High is doing a great job trying to get that program
Gotta believe
back on track.
don't they?
He does. And I tell you, that number 1, that running back, you see him coming at you, think twice about where you're going to try to tackle him because that young man can flat out run the ball. But I'm excited for tomorrow night. One, because we didn't broadcast last week because we didn't have a game, our open week. But I'm just excited to get back on the air and talk some
But you
Navarre
got to
football.
spend Friday night with your kids and your grand.
And it was a good night. You know why? The Packers got beat.
Oh, KMA.
And I never root for players to get it. In fact, I dislike seeing players get injured in the very first game. And when Jordan Love went down in the last minute of the game, it's like, if I want to beat the Packers, I want them to be at full strength when I do it. And he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Luckily, they brought in Malik Willis,
right?
Former player at I think was at Louisville.
Yep.
And then that was down. Tennessee brought him in. They traded him to the Packers the offseason. And luckily they did because he's going to be their starter for the next 4 to 6 weeks. But that was a good night for me.
How would you rate Aaron Rodgers' performance? A, B, C, D, or F?
Considering he hasn't played but 4 snaps in the last year, I thought he did a pretty darn good job. He still moves around in the pocket for a man of his age. Not too many quarterbacks are still playing football at the age of 40. I think he's going to be okay for the Jets. Will he have the big season that he's had in the past? Probably not, because I think those days are behind him. But the Jets need to look at their future and definitely make a plan, because Aaron Rodgers is not going to be a part of it after the next year or two.
Jordan Travis.
Possibility. Great on defense, but I think right now San Francisco is the class of the league. So deep at every position, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They throw in a backup running back. He goes for $147.
McCaffrey was laughing all the way to the bank.
And that allows him to get healthy, knowing that he's got a solid back in there.
Sure.
Great offensive line in San Francisco. Their defense is lights out. This game, the Packers welcome the Colts in this week for a home game. The Bears heading down to Houston Sunday night. It's going to be a battle between the second-year quarterback and
C.J. Stroud.
Stroud, what a year he had last year as a rookie. And Caleb Williams trying to find his feet after last week's dismal performance, but he didn't turn the ball over, and that's a plus. You always got to look.
Won.
Got to look for a positive. Yeah, the defense scored all the points.
Did
you
they
see how
win?
They won 24-17.
Who's the only team in the NFC North with a loss?
I think I've already said that. I didn't say that in that particular way, but I know you're a Packers fan. My wife's a Packers fan. My daughter's a Packers fan. The friends that she had over were Packers fans. So I was outnumbered last Friday night in Pensacola.
And you were laughing. You'd go to the bathroom probably and laugh your face off.
You know, I was very respectful during the game.
That's why I said you went to the bathroom, closed the door, and laughed.
You know, I did offend a young lady because I said bad things about Taylor Swift, and she's a big Taylor Swift fan. And that was the evening between us two and that one.
Don't
we're not going to go there. But anyways, I just want less of her on football. I like her singing. I love her singing. And she's a great performer.
Yep.
Tireless performer. I've watched her show. Let's move on from
368,000 hits.
Wow.
After she endorsed
one of the party members,
the Democratic candidate.
That's going to be interesting because Patrick Mahomes' wife just basically endorsed the other side, and those two are friends. So it's going to be interesting.
As well as the kicker. Yeah, well, they didn't. She hung out with Kelsey's mom, and then Miss Mahomes was in the next skybox. I wish somebody would invite us to a skybox.
I know. Last one I was in Florida State a couple of years ago. My good friend Alan Breckner,
I know.
A booster down at Florida State, had Brady and I over. We were in hostile territory in that booth. We were the only two Notre Dame fans, and all the booths around us surrounded us were. I think you guys were there that night too, weren't you? The Notre Dame game?
Mm-mm.
Not that night.
Nope.
But
a little too rich for our blood.
Yeah. But that was one heck of a game. Notre Dame blew an 18-point lead, and then comes back and wins late. And
well, Bill, you know what Forrest Gump said?
What's that?
I'm tired.
Me too. So, folks, you don't have to wait 2 days to hear us on Friday night, because we'll be back on the air tomorrow night from Panama City, where the Raiders will travel to take on the Mosley Dolphins. 7 o'clock kickoff Central Time, 6:30 on the pregame. We'll come live from Tommy Oliver Stadium tomorrow evening. So until then, get your rest tonight. Have a good day tomorrow, and join us tomorrow night on IrishBillsSports.com and Irish Bills Sports Live 944 on YouTube, and for all the action of the Navarre Raider football.
It'll be game day, baby, tomorrow.
All day tomorrow, and then we get 4 days of football. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday night. Actually, 5 days in a row.
5 days, Bill.
So, until then, may the wind ever be at your back. Glad that you've joined us here on Irish Bill's Coaches Show here at Buffalo Wild Wings. Have a great night, folks. Get a good night's sleep, and we'll talk to you tomorrow from Panama City.
Good night, Navarre.